your quote about having 3 stages of life. You talked about first stage, three challenges, if you challenge power, rather. In the first life, they cancel you. In the second, they slander you, delete your access to social media, and arrest and lock you away, which you said you've been through. And the third life means they will assassinate you. Are you really concerned about that?
I don't think I'm public enemy number 1 anymore. At one point, I was public enemy number 1. Now I'm probably public enemy number 11. And the old story goes, you don't have to be the fastest person when you're outrunning the bear. You just have to be faster than the slowest guy. I feel like I'm getting there now. But those are the 3 stages. When you say things that upset power, they try and cancel you. They delete your access to speak. They delete all your access to social media because your ability to speak freely is directly correlated with your insignificance. They allow you to say whatever you want if nobody listens. People start listening, then you have to be careful what you say. So the whole free speech thing is garbage anyway. So they cut that off. If that doesn't work, then they'll find a reason to put you in jail, which they did with me. Somebody told them, find something. They made up garbage, and I'm not the only person this happened to. And if that continues to fail, then yeah, they will kill you.
Well, I wonder what you were thinking when Alexei Navalny, the Russian opposition leader, ended up in jail and died there, somehow mysterious.
I find that interesting, though, because I think the timing doesn't make sense. I'm not an expert on Russian politics. I'm not an expert on the internal affairs of Russia. I'm not Russian. I just feel like it got Putin quite a lot of heat. And I don't feel like it was an ample time for him to just commit an assassination. He was under enough heat. He had enough things going on. He just did the Tucker interview, I believe. In fact, a lot of people in the West have respect for Putin now, maybe not amongst the elites, but amongst the general populace because he's nationalistic and he's very competent, which is something we're lacking in our leadership. It just didn't make sense for him to do a bad guy thing. The guy was already in jail. I understand he died from complications of the vaccine. That's what I understand, but perhaps I'm wrong. Who knows?
Well, there was also, a number of people who've undergone similar situations in Russia. So, I mean, maybe that's a different thing. I'll move on, though. Let me ask
Russia's Russia. Yeah, no, Russia's Russia. I mean, every country has its own way of dealing with things, right? And nowhere's perfect. But I just think it's kind of hypocritical to us in the West. We look at all these other countries and we say, look, you can't speak over there. Oh, look what happens when you challenge power over there. Well, look what happens when you challenge power over here, my friends.
Let me ask you about you talked about jail being kind of a reset for you, a little holiday, I think the way you described it.
Yeah.
What is your fear, though, of actually having a long term in prison? I mean, do you fear of dying in jail?
I don't operate in the realm of fear. I genuinely don't operate in the realm of fear. I have absolutely no fear of going to jail in Romania or England. I have no fear at all. I know I'm innocent. The world knows I'm innocent. Everybody knows this is a matrix attack. The idea that, and I can prove it's a matrix attack. I can prove it because would ancient charges from 13 years ago be trumped up and tried to press against me if I wasn't famous, if I was a normal person? Well, of course not. It's because I'm famous and they're trying to prove a point. They're trying to damage my influence. They're trying to damage my reach. The girls or whoever these people are, if they exist at all, want money. All of this is happening purely because of my fame. If my fame was in the hands of the establishment, if I was working for the MSM, like these other people who work for the BBC who've been caught being sexual predators, well, then it wouldn't be on the news. They're only doing it against me because I'm against the establishment. The whole thing's a matrix attack. It's all made up. And when you ask me on my deathbed, whether it's in jail or it's out here in freedom, are you glad you didn't sell your soul and fought against power for what you knew was right, even though they put you in jail? My answer is going to be yes, of course. I don't care about a big house and a bunch of cars. That can be taken from me anyway. But I care about looking in the mirror and knowing I am the man I said I was. So I'm going to say what I believe. And if they want to put me in jail for it, then they can put me in jail.
On a personal note, you and your brother, Tristan, were denied compassionate leave for when your mother, Eileen, was ill over Christmas. First, your thoughts on that and how it affected your relationship with her.
It's very interesting, this whole legal system, the whole legal process. It is very interesting because, like I said, you stand before a judge and you said, my mother's had a heart attack. Can I go see my mother? Here's the papers. She's had a heart attack. She might die. I haven't been able to leave this country for a year and a half. Can I go see my mother? And the judge will look at you and go, no. And it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what to say beyond that. It's a very interesting scenario to be in. And this is where we go down to what's law, what's real, because there's a lot of judges who would have said, yes, that's perfectly legal. There's a bunch of judges who say no, it's not legal. You have one lawyer who says, this is illegal, they can't do this. Another lawyer says they're not supposed to do it, but they do it all the time, they get away with it. All of it is just words. Yeah, and when you look at it, it's not just the legal system. You start to understand this entire world. It's just people walking into rooms and saying things. Government are just people walking in a room and saying stuff. An education system is just people walking in a room and saying things. The legal system, the medical system, just a bunch of people chit-chatting. So how it all plays out, I don't know.
You talk a lot about they. They will get you. They will come after you. they have a mission against you, for example, and you refer to the matrix, kind of an elite group of people who have an agenda and work together. I mean, is that really possible? Or is it just simply a great phrase, the matrix, and a way to kind of dismiss those who are challenging you and your views?
No, I think it's very clear that this world is run on deception. I think it's very clear that there are power structures which are designed to enslave the minds of people so they'll continue to allow their bodies to be enslaved. I think it's very clear that there's people who can't afford to eat anymore and inflation's out of control and the standard of living is declining and crime is off the charts, and they just try very hard to pretend that's not true with their various mechanisms of control. And powerful people have always wanted to exert control. And when I fight against or resist these things, I want the world to understand that I don't even take it personally. Even though they've put me in jail, I don't take it personally. I have 110 people who work for me. If one of them was particularly troublesome and disagreed with everything I said and didn't listen to me, I'd fire him. So if you run a country and you come along with your lies and your narratives because you want to profit or you believe it benefits you geopolitically, and you want to sit there and lie to the population, and the population believes it, and then there's this one guy, this top G guy, who's saying, no, this is a lie, and everyone's starting to pay attention to him, well, then you're going to do something about it. Anyone who doesn't understand that's how the world works must live in some fairy tale land. That's how the world works, and I've upset very powerful people by telling the truth about very important things.
The only thing is, when you talk about a matrix, it sounds like they're all colluding, and that's almost impossible.
Money colludes. Money colludes, power colludes. And you say, interesting you say that. I think the matrix is cracking in real time because people are being awakened to how much all of these systems based on fairness are simply a lie. They're simply a curtain, a distraction, a theater play to keep everybody believing in them. But you say that people can't collude globally around the world to exert power and control. I think there's a very interesting situation happening right now, which is an active genocide, where you can see certain countries can get away with whatever they want and other countries can't. And if that isn't proof of all the big money working together, well, then I don't know what more there is to say.
Yeah, Andrew, what's interesting is people like yourself have a massive voice now. Whether it's divisive or not, that's an issue. But you have a massive voice globally because social media has given you this incredible platform at a global level. It can have sudden and unexpected consequences. Aidan Ross, another social media influencer, happened to mention that he thought you wanted to desperately get back to the UK. The outcome was the UK reacted, and that triggered it. How did that affect your relationship with him?
Yeah, poor.
You guys were friends before.
Yeah, we're still friends, and I'm in a unique situation. It's kind of funny because this whole Aidan Ross thing, I'm not entirely sure that triggered the arrest, but you don't know. I'm very sure the Romanian state is extremely personally invested in my case. I'm very sure they understand their reputation's on the line. They're very afraid of anything going wrong with this judicial process. But I'm here for the long haul. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to see it through to the end because I'm not afraid of them. So, yeah, the social media is social media, and there's a whole lot of crazy things that happen from it, but also there's a lot of good that happens from social media. I don't think people would understand a lot of the realities in the world today without social media. The veil has been lifted on a whole bunch of narratives that we've been forced to support for a very long time because of social media, which is why now governments in the West are panicking and passing laws trying to censor and stop social media. Free countries, democracy, free speech. Oh, no, not when you say what we don't like. So now they're coming along and trying to stop it all. And I have to say that Rumble, which is the platform I'm on, and also X, owned by Elon Musk, both of these platforms have been monumentally important for the freedom of humanity because I think we're entering an oncoming decade or an oncoming generation of slavery.
You were blocked, actually, on pretty much everything, and then Elon Musk changed his mind and gave you that option. I mean, do you owe him a debt of gratitude?
Certainly. I actually certainly do, because although I think the narrative against me, most people would have ignored it and not believed it anyway, because it's the boy who cried wolf and they've done it too many times. The fact I've been able to show the other side of the story has been extremely important. And also, I've only been showing 5% of my side of the story. And this is where you go back to my original point, sir. When we talk about the reputations of entire nations, I mean, people say Romania, like, oh, it's only Romania. Romania is a rich European nation. It's an EU member state. Are they going to allow their entire judicial system to be seen as corrupt and incompetent by letting me walk after destroying my life for years? Or are they going to sit and say, we have to save face here? I don't know.